Kneel down, you sinners, to streetwise religion. Creed's been crowned a new king. Hollywood dream teams, yesterday's trash queens. Save the blessings for the final ring. Amen. Take a ride on the wild side.
Welcome to PoisonedRock. We are Ada and Gustavo, and a special guest, Gustavo, of course, with Marzi Montazeri from Exhorder, guitar player. So, most of the people want to know that, they know Exhorder as huge and famous band from 90s. But if you have to introduce your band to the newbie fans, what will you say to them?
Well, this is a new Exhorder. This is it's absolutely a new band, and the only original member now left is Kyle Thomas. But that band is entirely new, and we kind of came in from the last album, and then we're taking the ball and we're pursuing it, and we're running with it towards the next album, towards hopefully touring soon again. But so we're American thrash band from New Orleans. But our bass player is from Ohio now, and our drummer is from Chicago, who lives in New Mexico. So we're from all over the place. I'm from Houston, but now I live 2.5 miles from Kyle. So I live in New Orleans now too.
That's great. Okay.
Okay. Next question. Get Rude was your first demo. What do you remember of that period? How was this metal scene like back then, and what were live performances and recording sessions like?
All right, well, so I don't know how good you can see me. I can't see myself very good.
We can see you very well.
I joined Exhorder in 2017. Now, what you were asking goes back to, I think, like 80s,
to another player,
like in the late 80s or something. Get Rude demo was the first one. This is really a question that, and I probably should set this up for him. This is a question for Kyle. So you guys should interview Kyle, and Kyle can go to the root and core of this band, because he was in Exhorder since he was 16 years old. Am I slipping?
Yeah, it's slow. It's like slipping a little, but that's fine. It will work out. Okay, so Slaughtering Vacation, one of your first work, and we're speaking also about the past, but of course I know some of it. Sorry to interrupt you. I know some of it. I mean, when the recordings they did back then, they didn't sound like the best, but the energy was definitely capture the vibe of it. If I were to try to learn these songs by ear, it would have been impossible, because the tone of the guitar is like almost invisible, It's just like so. Yeah, but these are again questions for Kyle to answer. Yeah, but these things could be like, you maybe could answer about this, because Slaughter of in the Vatican, it's an album that is against church. So, what do you think about it? I mean, as being a member of Exhorder, because you playing that songs maybe in the live, so it's like that. You think it's wanted like to be like a provocation for the church or something like that?
I can give you my definition of it.
Yes,
I'm really happy and proud to be in a band that has a song called Slaughter in the Vatican. I think it's cool. I think it's wonderful, and to have the Pope being taken down to get hung, I think it's a beautiful thing, and just because you obviously can tell how I feel about the Vatican. It's kind of funny, because metal looked at, satanic or whatever, but that Catholic Church and that Vatican shit, that's the most satanic shit I've ever seen in my life.
You're telling me? I'm from Italy, so.
Yeah, and all the costumes and all the gold and all the perverse pedophilia and all that crap.
People disappeared, and you don't know where they are.
I believe all of it. So yeah, fuck them. And I'm like really happy to be
in a band that has an album self-titled titled Slaughter in the Vatican. So more power to that.
Okay. Yeah, good question. Good answer, sorry. Anyway, I have a good question. That's why I said it wrong. What do you think about the general comparison with Pantera? You know, there's this like a cliche, you know, saying like Exhorder has influenced Pantera, and then, well, that cliche. What do you think about it?
Well, look, you're asking a question from someone that actually was a part of it. So I remember Pantera when I actually remember their first gig, their first show with Phil was in Shreveport. I saw that show, and they opened up with Van Halen, and they would do all these, and it would be covers, and they would do originals. And then there was a time period where they kind of separated. Dimebag went and auditioned for Megadeth, and he got the job. Dave Mustaine gave him the job, but Daryl said, "If I go, my brother goes with me." And Megadeth said, Dave said, "No, we have a drummer." So Daryl said, "No thanks." That's how dedicated he was to Vinny. This is not made up stories, by the way. This is the truth. And so at this time, Philip went and joined Exhorder for I think 3 days. But then Kyle came back in the band, so they called him and said, "Sorry." And I think, Philip really loved Exhorder, and he wanted to be in that band. And since he wasn't being able to, he came back and, had the demos, Exhorder demos, and kind of, said, we want to sound like this kind of sort of. And that's a vague way to put it, but they kind of adopted that kind of groove kind of mentality, because before that they were glam rock, and they think they kind of like adopted that the tone, the guitar tone, and this vocal style and the groove, and they simplified it. And I've never seen a band work as hard as Pantera, because I remember I was there from the very, very beginning, and I saw them and I was friends with them. I was friends with Daryl. I was friends with Daryl and Vinny first, and then later on Philip and Rex and all that. But I had a lot of love and respect to this day for them. And again, I'm trying to tell you, I really didn't see people work that hard. They worked harder than any band, definitely harder than Exhorder. Exhorder didn't do shit back then. And they worked really hard, and they put themselves where they belong, at the very, very top. So what do I think? I think, shit happens, There's similarities, I always use this as an example. Van Halen is my God, for me. And then Randy Rhoads is like the son of God. But Eddie is like God. And you really can't explain David Lee Roth on the David Lee Roth is like an embarrassment now. But when you listen to the Van Halen record, you don't have, and when I did, by the way, I didn't speak English. So I didn't even know what he was saying. It's just the sound, the tone, everything was just magical. And then when you break that down in the show, the live show that they had, he was ripping off, what's his face? Jim Dandy from Black Oak, Arkansas. You can go to YouTube, Jim Dandy from 1974 or something concert, and you'll go, wow, man, that's David Lee Roth. And David Lee Roth wrote him a letter. It's documented, and he sent it to him, and he said, "Hey, man, I came to your show with an 8mm camera and taped your whole show, and I took your whole show for Van Halen, kind of like giving him thanks for it." So, I mean, he admitted it, and he did it. So, but you see what I'm saying? So there's similarities are there, and we don't know where they come from, but they're there. It's just what you do with it. It's what you do with it. So Pantera did great with it. They did great.
Awesome. Thank you.
So I think maybe you can answer to that. Since the historical formation of the band is changed, also something is changed in the sound, or it remained faithfully to the original sound?
Of Exhorder?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the last album, you mean?
Yes.
Well, yeah. The 27-year-old gap between the last and the new. And basically in those 27 years, now this is Vinny's baby and Kyle's. You know, they wrote all of this, and Vinny had only 7 years to write it. In that time, I think that even like when I joined the band, I kept telling him, man, it's criminal that you can't hear these guitar parts on the first 2 albums. Not that great, especially not on the first one. Because if you knew what was going on, it'd be more impressive. See, that's where Pantera came in. Pantera, you could hear everything. You know, everything was identifiable and it was very strong and whatnot. So I think they learned through the years from production and went into the studio and came out with a great sounding album, which is this last one. You know, it sounds great and it sounds really good actually at a louder volume. When you turn it up, it still sounds good. I forget the dude's name who did it. I gotta look at the album. I don't even have one here. I was supposed to bring one over today, believe it or not.
Awesome.
I'm bringing my first CD and my first vinyl and our 7-inch. He's bringing it over today.
Cool. Yeah, cool. Great to know it. Next question.
Hold on a second. Before you get to it, hold on real quick. Check this
out.
Yeah.
Sure.
After I was in Super Joint, I did this. It's called it's an album. And check this out. I had to get this from eBay the other day.
You have to reach out to your own works from your bag.
Yeah, I don't have my own shit. It's funny. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Okay. This is a personal one. This goes more for you because you are the new member of Exhorder. So when you compose, how much is your music influenced by the hardcore scene? Or, I mean, the hardcore genre style? Because when I listen
to put it, but I'm not going to be able to answer that question using bands. But as far as the hardcore goes, bro, it's a matter of style, I guess. So, are you over there? I don't know how big you can see over there. Can you see that?
Yeah, sure.
Can you hear that? Oh shit. Can you hear that or no?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear.
Clean or it's not clean?
No, it's completely clean. We can see you perfectly.
It's like if you have an attitude, it's like. And I just made that up. Why? Because man, it's like, it's inside of you and it has to come out.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I go in there and I'm physically
in brief, you're telling us that the songs come from your heart. It's like you don't need to do nerdy things and look out for techniques. You just play it first from your heart, and then.
Both of you, one being Italian and you being from Bolivia, you both seriously understand the heart connection. And I had another the other day, someone actually said, and I think there was an Italian fan that said to me and touched me because I never thought of it, but I feel it though. He said, I'm the guitar player that the notes connect with my heart when they come out. So it's not like my head, and it's this, and it is, man. I go blank. And I try to be an instrument myself to serve a master, which is like song. Not my ego, not what I think about things. Put it aside and physically, I get in there and I feel it. And I feel this and I feel that. So like just that alone, I felt that and I just played it. I never played that before, but it's just an attitude. And it needs to come out. So for me, it's medicine.
Okay.
Awesome.
So next question should be about the Low album. We're speaking about 1992, so maybe it's too much older. But what I wanted to say that in this album we can hear a lot of groove influences. From the outside part, what can you tell about it? What do you think about it?
I will tell you this. I had nothing to do with the law. and I had nothing to do with Slaughter in the Vatican, nothing at all.
Okay.
But these are questions for Kyle. I will tell you this. My dog's trying to get in here. I will tell you this. My roommate and I, his name was Jerry. Jerry and I, we had like 2 cassettes in his IROC. He had an IROC back in the day, and it was Slaughter in the Vatican and The Law, and we used to listen to that religiously. So when I joined the band in 2017, it was like a really cool thing for me and my roommate. I was like, yeah. I mean, that band we used to jam out to all the time. Exhorder was my favorite band. Now I'm part of it, and
right.
a whole different mentality from going from well, we're all fans. We're all fans of music. Of course. But when we're on the road, Judas Priest is probably the most heaviest, or Iron Maiden is the heaviest we'll listen to on the road. Kyle will put on anything. I mean, from Motown to disco to like, anything, so I don't know. We're lovers of music, I guess you could say. And again, those 2 albums, and then The Law is very groove oriented, and I love it. I had nothing to do with it. You should.
We're going now to the rest and
to the rest of the question.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, this is a tour questions about your tours. In May 1919, Exhorder announced the Mediations over North America tour with Christian and Hatch together opening for Cataclysm. So, what made you come back together? How do you feel when you are touring with Exhorder?
Yeah, it's wonderful. And the one that you just mentioned, okay? So you're at home, the tour's not happening, and all of a sudden you hear, hey, you're going to go on tour with Cataclysm, Christian from Brazil, and Hatchet, a new band, right?
Yeah.
You're going to share the bus with 2 bands, with your group, and you're scratching your head going, man, that long on the road with people you don't know, so you get all fucking freaked out, and your mind goes here, and people start to talk and start to make up scenarios, worst case scenarios and stuff like that. Anyway, long story short, we're somewhere in Illinois, and it was the first night of the gig, and I got some guys from prison like this. Oh, fucking immediately. We immediately bonded. And Alex, the bass player, vocalist, and I said, hey man, you smoke? He's like, I smoke all day. I was like, okay, let's go outside. And we smoked out. Like right when we all met, before the show, before sound check, anything. I met Moises, the guitar player, and Max. I didn't know they were brothers. They're all 3 brothers.
Yeah, bro.
To watch them night after night, it was like I watched them. I tried to catch Hatchet, then I would go and I watched everybody, and Cataclysm was fucking great. Everybody was so awesome, man. It was so great. That was a great tour. And I remember our first break when everybody went away. Alex was like, "Hey man, you're a man of your word." Because I said, man, it's the first time we stopped. I'm getting a soccer ball, and we're gonna do a barbecue, and you're gonna cook that Brazilian style meat. You know what I mean? And we did. I went and got a soccer ball. I think Walmart before you bus stop that on days off, and we did that. We did a cookout right there in the parking lot, and it was fucking awesome. That was the highlight of it. And getting to see them play every night, that was awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm still in touch with them, and I think, you know what? We're going to go with Christian, Cataclysm back out to Europe next year.
And I will go to see you soon for sure.
Absolutely.
And we're waiting down here. So
speaking about
down south, we had something in Brazil, and hopefully we're with a new company that's going to take care of us in South America. So we get to go to, Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Bolivia.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get.
Cool. Yeah, awesome.
Okay, so now just speaking about More Than Northern Star, which was released in 2019 with the first single, My Time. It was like a kind of surprise for the old school fan of Exhorder.
What'd you call it again? Say it again.
More the Southern Star.
More
Skies.
Sky Star. I was looking
northern. I thought you said northern. I was about to lose the shit, but that's what makes it awesome. More than Northern Star.
Yes, it's another way. You can change the name.
No. I know exactly what you're saying. I'm picking one.
Okay, so it was a surprise for your old school fans. What can you tell about this album? I mean, speaking about this album, now that you can speak about this album, of course.
Yeah. Well, it was a long time coming for this thing, and some of the processes of recording and all that, and revamping, and I think Vinny and Jason and Sasha had a band called You're the Tyrant. So some of the material was from that, and I think he brought it in and he redid it for Exhorder. And Sasha spent a good amount of time in the studio having to like relearn arrangements and go after it. And the key to it, I think, was the studio that it was recorded at in New Orleans. OCD recording studio. Crowbar does their albums there.
Yeah.
And this Dwayne Simier, I think that's how you say his last name. He's just he's got a good brain, really good ear. And I had magical moments with him in the studio. And what I mean by that is sometimes it's kind of hard to explain because there's so much that goes into the recording process. There's so much of it. Listening back, choosing between this and that and that. There was a few moments where him and I would just look at each other and say the same thing at the same time. That was the craziest thing to even say. But we had that connection, and I was like, wow. It's like really thinking alike. So the experience was magical. Some of it was spontaneous, like what's the name of the song? Yesterday's Bones, where I did the first guitar solo on there, and I really loved it because you can sing that solo. And then the long, epic guitar solo, I think, is like Vinny's masterpiece. Never heard him like play anything that's so killer. It's so awesome. And at the very end, there's an acoustic guitar that was strumming, and he asked me if I could play something on top of it. And I was done doing all my leads, and everything was finished, and I was like, sure. So I just went into the next room, put on some headphones. They gave me an acoustic guitar. I learned the chord progression, and then are you guys familiar with the song? It kind of has that old school Black Sabbath feel to it because the song just drops, and it goes into the acoustic piece. And then when I came in, he had a tear in his eye. I made that man cry. So
awesome.
The story behind that is that I had said that once I was finished with this album, like my job was done, that I was going to celebrate it by getting a tattoo. So this is the tattoo that I wanted to get, and I got it right here in New Orleans. And when I was in the tattoo studio, Vinny and his lady came in, and they paid for the tattoo. Ain't good.
Right.
Awesome. That was just like, thank you. He goes, you made me cry yesterday, last night. So it was like a really nice moment we had, and it was cool. So the title track, Kyle's vocal performance overall in this album, it's some of the best things I've ever heard personally in heavy metal. Kyle's vocals on all three Exhorder records, but they're all quite different. And then this last one, the Morning to the Southern Sky, on the title track, it's good. He goes right for your heart,
Yeah.
It's amazing work. I hope I answered your question by talking about it.
For sure, completely.
Yeah, totally. Like 2-3 questions.
That's me, man.
No worries. So no worries. So you already told us that you are going to planning you're going to plan a tour together with Cataclysm in Europe. But what would you like to do for the future of Exhorder? You know, your personal view, how, I don't know, maybe a new music video, maybe a tour in a special country. What are your plans in the future with Exhorder for you?
I think I can speak for the guys right now, saying, because we're like group text each other and we're in contact every day with each other. And again, Kyle lives right down the street. We have this vision that we're going to put another album out, EP, whatever. We're going to put more music out. Prior to that, we're going to tour. Once the doors open up again, we're talking. It's nothing like set in stone. Well, we're talking to people like, you know, Exhorder, which are our friends, about touring with them. And Cataclysm has asked us to go out with them. And and then we're doing festivals. We're doing, I think, ones that, like Alcatraz is confirmed still. The one in Czech Republic, I think. I forget the name of that one. I think that one's confirmed. There's a few that are confirmed. So, yes, we want to go out and play and do the supporting act, and then do our festivals and do this private, you know, the ones that we do like clubs, you know, like in Essen when we did True Luck, things like that. We're really good venues. We do really, really good on our own. So, ultimately, to headline, do a headlining Exhorder show, both in the U.S. and overseas. And like I mentioned, we have not been to Japan, so we've talked about it heavily. Australia, we have friends in King Paris and want out there with them. We'd love to make that happen. I would want that to happen too, obviously, but I really want to go to South America. So that's what I personally like. I want that to happen. Central America also. We've played in Canada, but we have not gone down south. Like, so with this band and with my new guitar sound and Jason's sound and Sasha's drums and Kyle's vocals, we've become a real new thing. Yeah. It's kind of hard to explain it. I model us now after like old school Van Halen. We're really raw and have that energy, and we proved that last time we went on the road opening up for Overkill. We did a tour with Overkill, and that was such a cool tour, man. And you know what's crazy is like everybody writes me now and say, or I comment on the pictures and says, this was the last show that we saw. So we literally were like one of the last tours that were out there, and then our tour was cut short. You know, like, but when I came home, my friends in Crowbar, they didn't even get to go out on the tour. They were supposed to go out on a separate tour, but they didn't even get a chance to do it. So, this really sucks for everybody, but I guess, you know, I'm very thankful that we were able to be out there for the time that we were out there.
Yeah.
So it's good.
So now just an easy questions, fun, we can say. If you have to choose 5 albums or 5 songs or 5 artists, whatever, that influenced your way of playing, what would it be?
Okay, for me, it's kind of easy. It's Van Halen, because, you know, I come to America. I'd come to America and I'd never heard like anything like that before. And then my dad was driving and I heard dum 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 bam, and then I heard Eruption. And then after Eruption, I heard You Really Got Me. And my dad had a pretty good stereo system, so it just kicked my ass like, oh man. So Van Halen, Black Sabbath, Black Sabbath, all the Ozzy years, and with Dio. I mean, Black Sabbath in general, but like that was like, we're talking about things that like are so influential where you don't ask. You just like, this is what happens in life, you know? These are the songs that kind of like move you and you can like relate to them. Led Zeppelin. When I say this, and I say it with all my heart, it's kind of hard, you know? So Pink Floyd, you asked me for 5. And that's really tough. ZZ Top. I come from Houston. you know, I come from Houston, so like that's another band that had crazy guitar sounds and like really kick-ass rhythms, great songs, and then slow blues songs that just like would melt your heart when you hear the guitar solos. You know, I really like that kind of stuff. So you asked for 5, that's kind of where I would go. But I really like Ozzy with Randy, man.
Yeah,
I love those 2 records. I really like Blizzard, and I really like Diary of the Lamb. I love those 2 albums.
awesome. They are all of those bands are such a great bands. I mean,
for sure.
most of the old school metalheads pick up rock bands because they were influenced by them, obviously. And I freaking love all those bands: Sabbath, Van Halen, Gibson, Big Floyd.
We could do 5 every 10 minutes, and I could have a new 5. You know, there's so many. There's just so many.
There's a lot.
And that to me, you know, the fact that I am an immigrant kid, and I had a weird circumstance because I didn't have a regular life in America. Like I didn't come here and we have this great life. We came here, my parents divorced, and then my dad was gone. So I was literally on the streets learning how to speak English, picking up the guitar, learning how to tune it. I didn't know how to tune it. Like I was an experiment almost. Like, you know, I didn't have anybody to show me this stuff. I figured it out from my heart. So I didn't have teachers. Again, I spent a lot of time like fishing, man, you know. But the radio, I can't not mention the radio. The radio, Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, you know, like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, all the bands I was listening to, Stevie Ray Vaughan from being around here, all the stuff, they were my teachers. The albums that I had, like Rush, 2112, were like, you know, that was my, you know, concept records. These were my babysitters, my teachers, you know. They were ultimately, man, they were my best friends. I have a relationship with these songs and this music that, you know, in my imagination is so deep that is very pure and very beautiful, you know.
Yeah, beautiful.
I'm trying to give that back today in the way we write and the way we're doing things. It's like straight from the heart, you know. Yes, there's technical aspects to it, but then there's other things, you know. Like I just was doing the thing with my guitar sounds like violins, you know. So we're gonna just different stuff.
Yeah, sure thing. Okay, Ada, next question.
Okay. So, what if you have to organize a festival? Okay, you are the organizer of a festival. What would be your favorite lineup? Just okay, it's like similar to the last one, but we're speaking about that today.
A festival with a killer lineup, man. I would love King Parrot on there, King Parrot and Portal. They're both from Australia. I would like, if this is like forming to be on a festival, I would want to see bands. I'd want Iron Maiden to headline. I just want to see that again. Alice in Chains.
Amazing.
When we played Hellfest, me and Kyle took off and we went to the audience. We went to the crowd and we got to see Alice in Chains. And Kyle had never seen him before, and he looks to me, he goes, you know, I've never seen Maiden. And this is like my best friend, my singer. And I'm like, what? So we got to experience that together. We got to, my phone battery's low. We got to see that together. We got to see Iron Maiden together. We got to experience that. Guys, you can still see me, yeah? Okay. So,
yes.
Suicidal Tendency. They're so fun live. Yeah.
Maybe Exodus.
Oh yeah, I can. Now that Gary is such a beast, man. Now that Slayer's going, retired, Gary's back with Exodus. He's a major influence of mine.
Yeah, he's one of my personal heroes. He's
such a great and I know Gary. He's one of my best friends, and he's one of my personal heroes. And him and his wife Lisa are just gold, and he's so down to earth, man. He's so down to earth. He's such a nice, down to earth guy. I really, really love Gary a lot. And
I think we all love Gary.
Okay.
I want to be Gary when I grow
up. So basically, we are almost at the end of the interviews. Which song do you recommend for the newbie fans?
The new what?
Which song of Exhorder do you want to recommend for a newbie fans that doesn't know Exhorder at all, completely?
I think My Time, the first track of the last album, kind of like has that vibe. He gave me 2 speeding tickets, and I drive I don't drive fast, you know. I try to not fuck around with the police, and I couldn't help it. When I first got the mixes back, I was looking down, I was going like 80 in a 30-mile-an-hour zone, and I did. I really got 2 speeding tickets for it. So I'd say My Time. My Time is a good one.
Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Next question, Gustavo. The last one.
Okay, the last one. The most important part, the fans. Do you have any message, any special message for the fans? Any last words, you know, for the newer Exhorder fans, like my generation, for example, because I'm 25 years old, I'm still young, and I discovered Exhorder like a couple of years ago, and I was I fall in love with you guys because you were one of the greatest thrash metal bands for me. You're still one of the greatest. So, would you like to would you like to say some words for your newer fans and for your old fans?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to start off by saying that you pretty much just said it. The way you said it, the tone of voice that you used saying it, and your sincerity in the way you said it, that entirely, to me, is what I've seen wherever we've played. And I've played, you know, in Russia and Poland, East Europe. I've played it. I personally have gone with other bands to Mexico, to Central America. There's a unified, sincere, and honest love for heavy metal that's unlike anything else. It's not fake, you know. It's sincere. And then to me, I just want to say thanks to the people that have been listening, and send my personal love to every single one of them, and tell you that Exhorder is keeping that honor and that truth inside of us, and we're trying to bring it back, and we're a people's band. We want to bring it back and, in a sense, give thanks back to the fans by creating the best music that we can create and go out live and do what we do live.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you so much. It was really, really an honest and normal interview, and this is what it's the best always. So thank you, Marzi, for being with us, and enjoy your evening, the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Just have fun.
And I'm watching the soccer game.
Okay, have much fun, and I hope to see you soon, really soon, in some gigs.
Both of you. I'm looking forward to meeting you both.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Time. Take care.
Right?
Bye.
Bye. Love y'all.
Bye.
Rage, face, craze. Now they know your name. Place in fame. Settled scores of wild side. I carry my crucifix under my death list.